Two Australian nurses have been caught in a shocking anti-Semitic tirade against an Israeli. In a video posted to TikTok, the pair can be heard bragging about killing and refusing to treat Israeli patients. The male nurse says that despite the Israeli's, quote, pretty eyes, he will be killed and sent to Jahannam, which effectively means hell. The female nurse says the Israeli will be killed because, quote, it's Palestine's country, not your country. Take a listen.
You know what? Oh, shit.
How are you, man?
Good, how are you, my man?
Pretty good. Are you a nurse? A doctor?
I'm a doctor, my man.
A doctor? For what?
In hospital. What about you? Where are you from?
I'm from Israel, from the Holy Land.
You know what? I'm gonna be really honest with you.
Alright.
I'm gonna be really honest with you. You actually got a really, really beautiful eyes.
Thank you,
but
man.
I'm so upset that you're Israeli. Like, eventually you're gonna get killed and you're gonna go to Jahannam, inshallah. Like, these pretty eyes, they should stay in this world for longer.
Why do you think? Why do you think I'm gonna get killed?
It's Palestine's country, not
Hello,
your country. You piece
how are
of
you?
shit.
What's your name?
One day, your time will come and you will die the most.
We spread
listen to me.
Peace.
Listen to me.
And
when
you spread
when your
death.
time comes.
How are you, doctors? Wait.
I want you to remember my face.
Okay,
so
okay.
You can understand
Gotcha.
That you will
I have
die
a question
the most
though.
disgusting death.
All right, for sure. I have a question though.
Yeah,
I have a question. Let's say an Israeli. God forbid.
I won't treat them. I'll kill them.
You'll kill them? So if an Israeli is in Australia and God forbid something happened to him and he comes to your hospital,
I hope to God.
Would you kill him?
You have no idea how many Israeli Khara dog came to this hospital and I sent him to Jahannam. I literally sent him to Jahannam.
The nurses in the video are Ahmad Rashad Nadir and Sarah Abu Lebda. They both work at Bankstown Hospital in southwest Sydney. The Premier of New South Wales confirmed the two were Sydney health workers and assured the public the two had been stood down. Health Minister Ryan Park had this to say.
They are vile, disgusting and deranged individuals. Well, I don't know what explanation any of these individuals could possibly give that in any way would justify this disgusting, vile behaviour. I don't want to leave a slither of light to allow any of them to be able to think that they will ever work for New South Wales Health again.
The family of the female nurse reacted with fury when approached by journalists asking for answers on their daughter's comments.
While the family of the female nurse lashed out.
Why are you shit? Get the
I'm on public property. What do you have to say about the allegations that Sarah...
Becoming aggressive to journalists.
Mate, listen to me, brother. All right, okay. I need my phone back.
A man identifying himself as her uncle, saying she's sorry.
No, she is not a threat. No, she will never be a threat.
An investigation is underway to determine whether any patients have been neglected or even murdered at the Bankstown Hospital. The latest rant comes in the wake of a sustained rise in anti-Semitism since Hamas's attack on Israel on 7th of October 2023 and the ensuing war in Gaza. Brits have watched on uneasily as hundreds of thousands have regularly taken to the streets to demonstrate against the war, which often include anti-Semitic chants.
West Bank, Gaza, it's about time we globalise the Intifada! Yeah!
And just this week, a Labour MP has been suspended over anti-Semitic WhatsApp messages, in which he wished death on pensioners who don't vote Labour.
This is Oliver Ryan, who's the MP for Burnley. He's admitted he made comments that he deeply regrets and would not make today. But it's very alarming, isn't it, what we're hearing?
It is very alarming, and this flies in the face of what Keir Starmer said on the steps of Downing Street when he became Prime Minister, that he wants to restore government to that of public service. And it's alarming twofold that these views still exist within the Labour Party. Keir Starmer was very clear that when he took over from Jeremy Corbyn, he was going to root out anti-Semitism within the Labour Party. Going by this WhatsApp group, the anti-Semitism is still rife within parts of the Labour Party. And I think it also, and misogyny as well. I think there's a some very offensive remarks were made about the Deputy Leader of the Labour Party, Angela Rayner. And then there are the comments, of course, made about constituents. And we know what people might think about politicians. People give their views about politicians all the time. But if you're a politician, you're there for public service. That's why you go into politics, to make, to try and improve the lives of your constituents. It has to be your first goal. And as this WhatsApp group seems to, the messages seem to come out, seem to hate your constituents if you wish them to be dead. That, I think, is deeply damaging. Keir Starmer is going to be under pressure. OK, Andrew Gwynn has been sacked as a minister. He's been suspended from the Labour Party. But is he really going to allow him back into the Labour Party to serve as a Labour MP? I think that's going to be a very difficult one for the Prime Minister. And I think what's likely to happen, not inevitable, but I think what's likely to happen is that he will have to he'll have to resign as an MP or be forced out as an MP, and that would trigger a by-election. Of course, after what happened in Runcorn, there's likely to be a by-election there. And if there's a by-election, I don't know how far this scandal will go, but if Oliver Ryan, the MP for Burnley, and we're expecting screenshots from this WhatsApp group to be released later this week. But Oliver Ryan, the MP for Burnley, if he goes as well, you're looking potentially at 3 by-elections where Nigel Farage's Reform UK could either win or do very well in. So I think this is problematic for the Prime Minister, not just in the week ahead, but I think in the course of this year, if and when those by-elections happen.
Jake Wallace-Simons told GB News the West is collectively failing Jewish people by failing to stand up to its pro-Gaza mobs.
How has the West betrayed Jewish people?
Well, the West has betrayed the Jews in the same way, or a similar way, in which it's betrayed itself. I mean, we look at the way it's betrayed the Jews. I mean, since October the 7th, it couldn't have been more vivid. Jews have been subjected to a 3-dimensional assault on their selfhood, on their sense of identity, on their sense of sort of permission to exist in the world. Their links with their historic homeland have been questioned. Their history has been undermined. They've been smeared and slurred as white supremacists, as genocide committers, as apartheid lovers, as baby killers. And we see that on a microcosmic level as well in our own Jewish communities in Britain and across Europe and the West, where Jews are being advised to hide expressions of their identity so they're not targeted. Where they're subjected to, vandalism, attack, murder, even thankfully not so far in Britain, but elsewhere, and of course seeing things like hostage posters torn down. It really does feel like Jewish selfhood is under threat across the world, and it feels like we're being betrayed because a lot of people stand with us in this country, but not enough, and certainly not enough people stand with us and are willing to raise their voices on our behalf, to say, if you attack the Jews, you're attacking me too, you're attacking Britain too, and everything that we stand for. I think that really leads me on to the idea of how the West has betrayed itself, because we've reached a point in the West where we've lost our own sense of confidence in ourselves, in our own identity as a proud liberal democracy that attracts wannabe migrants from all over the world because our tolerance, our way of life, our values, our quality of life is so attractive. We've lost our confidence in our history. We've lost our confidence in our values and in what we must project to the world. We've become convinced somehow that we are a, white supremacist nation, that we are structurally racist, that we are transphobic, that our history is only one of colonialism and slavery. And we've lost all sense of ourselves. And I think that those two things, us losing our sense of ourselves, betraying our own values, actually betraying our own children, is the same tendency that has caused us to also betray the Jews.
Nicholas Dunning, GB News.